Hi guys, my name's Sucks at Gaming, and I'm going to be showing you a little bit about how to address the issue of interchanges on City Skylines. It's a huge issue that I've seen many people, even playthroughs and other things like that, where they can't really wrap their head around how an interchange should operate, how an interchange can go, and really it's one of the biggest pushes for the mods on the computer edition. Now I'm going to be playing on the console edition, not PS4 edition in my case, and it's going to be with no mods, although all DLCs are going to be bought. However, I tried to stay away from using any DLC roads, anything like that. Everything is available to you in the base game, and we're going to be going through just how to tackle some of these interchanges and highway on and offs, everything like that. So I've started off with three of them, three of my most common ones, and my first one here is my standard one. Now this one I haven't had much trouble with. It really is just a simple interchange, probably taking a dog bone, a roundabout interchange, elongating it, and making it more traffic friendly. This one I've seen work up to about like 40,000 people, maybe even further than that. What it does is you have your main road going down this way where the highway can just quickly get on and off. And even if you don't have, what I have is the expansion for intersections, even if you don't have it, it automatically does not have a light. Many intersections that I've seen where it kind of just takes off and then just connects up to the main road, it's going to have that light. And that will slow traffic down a tremendous amount. So that's the first one we're going to be building today. Second one's a standard one. However, it's a little bit more heavy duty. It's just a dog bone interchange where there's two roundabouts on either side. Can handle a lot of traffic. By I mean a lot of traffic, I mean industrial traffic. This one I would not recommend combining your industrial and residential going through here. This one's more for heavy traffic. Residential can pass through this, and that's exactly what the whole point of it is. So you have these little express lanes where the main highway is here, while any traffic that needs to get off goes away from the highway. Dogboat and interchanges, standard without those express lanes can lead to backups because roundabouts aren't always end all for solving your traffic issues. However, they are very useful. And the third one here is what I like to call, completely made this up a little while back, and it's called my magic interchange. Uh, it's supposed to be so you can put it in the middle of a city, basically downtown area, anything like that. You can put it in the middle of a city and you won't have to worry about traffic ever slowing down. That's the whole point of it. Any traffic that needs to get off gets off the street and into one of these two connections into a lower area, and this whole jumbled mess I'm sure I can go through you with. Just stays off the street while being condensed and small enough to be inside of a main city. And if you give me 1 second, I could go show you that. Other thing, I'm going to show you really the practicality of both of these in a couple different settings. I'd rather you see it in a area where you see how it works, how it operates, what it can handle, what it can't, everything like that, rather than me just putting it here, and then you expecting to build it. It doesn't always happen like that. Traffic is always fluctuating in this game, and it's really one of the charms about this game is that it's hard for traffic instead of, just kind of it's there. I'm going to take you through this. I'm just going to quick show you that, and I'm going to show you its first real-world application, then show you how to build it. So if you give me 1 second, I'll throw on over. First one we'll be taking a look at is the first one I showed you. It's this small roundabout area, and I think it works very well for the type of settings I've put it in. Give me 1 second, I'll shoot you on over to there. Okay, and we're at one of my smaller cities. I was going more for aesthetics with this one, and really I had underestimated the power of mass transit. And that really left the city to be kind of okay with infrastructure. With the new DLC mass transit, I was able to really fix the roads around. Kind of screw with it a little bit, and it's good on traffic, it really is. But it leaves no space for improvement upon anything about traffic. But I have a couple instances of these interchanges that I've showed you. And the first one would be here. Now this one's not that big. You can see it has a couple issues with stopping with the larger areas. However, traffic does flow smoothly through it. Getting on and off highway really has minimal time to stop and really catch up with itself. In this case, again, like I said, it can only really work up to 30 or 40,000 people. In an area like this, it's a little bit harder for it. It shouldn't be so close to a main road. It shouldn't even be hooked up to a main road, but that's the point of it. It's supposed to be. Second one's over here. We're focused on industrial, and it doesn't have that heavy of a load, so obviously it's going to be doing good. Third one is over here, and this one really is the best one to show you. It's got the most highway traffic, and you can see that with this one, I'm going to be teaching you how to build this one, because you see at the angle the ramp is going, that you can quickly turn off. You won't lose much speed, whereas with these ones you curve inward and then have to take a sharper angle outward. That is not what you want to build. You can build that and it'll be fine for you, although it won't be as effective as the other one I'll be showing you. So that is the first one there. The double dog bone or dog bone interchange, I'll quickly show you. So here we have our dog bone interchange, and you can quickly see, even with a city of only 4,000 people, it's not good. It really is not. The dog bone interchange, I definitely would not recommend building. It's large, it's clunky, it really just kind of limits you on how much you can get through there, and it has the standard dog bone interchange setup. It's, you're gonna waste however many units this is. I believe area-wise this is probably over 200 units I'm wasting on both sides here, so 400 units total on just putting down roundabouts and the roads for this. And honestly, for that kind of, I should be getting more out of it, and I think this double dog bone interchange probably would be better in commercial or industrial areas instead of having it be residential and commercial. Like I've said, it's just, you have people using this bridge that should really be only used for transporting over and under. Transporting from one area to another, you're using that for a lot of different things. Services are using it, and it's putting so much stress on the dog bone roundabout that honestly the only way you could get past that is upgrading the roundabout to a highway. And at that point, I wouldn't be willing to do that. It's just, I think that's weird. I think that's weird. However, with the express lane, if you make this a dog bone interchange with two industrial sectors on each side where they have quick access to going left and right, that makes sense. Using it as an inlet for your city, hell no, don't do that. Okay, I'm going to show you my final magic one, which honestly, like I've said, I haven't had any problems with it. It's one of the best. It's one of the best in the business. It doesn't look ugly because there's nothing really to look at. It's small, compact. You can stuff it in the middle of a large city. It works. It flows. Traffic that just needs to go from A to B and go through that interchange can do it. Whereas with this one, now they're stuck through two roundabouts that are, supposed to help the traffic. It's not worth it. So let me go shoot you over to that one, and you can see how well that one works. Okay, I'm gonna stop my game because I'm decently sure it's going to crash. But here you see there's no backup, nothing like that. And this city's been going for forever. I've had this city for a long time. It sucks that now it crashes because of the update. But you can see that really there's no issues with the interchange here. It's just there's no backup. Okay. Like I said, it was going to crash, so just the fact that it did is a shame, but whatever. So, now seeing those three, the magic interchange definitely there's one kind of little aspect of it that you guys need to have, and it's that you need to have an underground highway system. Incredibly expensive, I know, incredibly expensive. However, it is a late game item. Having that will allow you to just basically move around your city, maximize the space, because you don't need to take up any space for uh, constructing highways overground. You don't need to take up any space interchanges. It's just that transferring from that highway, from the underground, is going to be incredibly difficult. So I'm going to take you through, and sadly the map didn't save. I'm going to take you through first doing that first interchange. I showed you the one with the medium density output. So first, you want to start off with always know your base, know where you're standing, and know where you're basically building off of. Have everything be proportionate to each other. And with just this one, I'll show you a quick way on how I do that if my PS4 doesn't blow up there. Okay. I have no idea why it does that. Okay, I'm gonna have to let it go like that for a little bit. Okay. So basically what I said by that is just always make a base, always know what you're building off of. The first thing to do is whenever you start a city, just make a road like that. And that's what you'll build off of. Or even just do something like that where you'll come back and you'll move over like that. Yeah, just always have a grid that you're building off of where it's proportionate to the highway. And the reason why I can't stress that enough is that before mass transit, and if you were only going to buy one DLC, friggin' buy mass transit right now. Like, if you were on the fence about any DLC, buy mass transit. But if anything else, you always want to start off with a transit system. You always want to start off with a system that goes off of the highway, because if you default from that, when you'll start doing is that, oh, if you have a huge grid system over here that's pretty cool or whatever, and then you try connecting to the highway, all of a sudden you're going to get these crazy loops and everything like that trying to go back to the highway, and nothing will line up anymore. And the reason why that, and it can't even be that I bet it can be something like maybe you're coming in perpendicular and the highway is just a little bit off, so that when the highway comes over, it's just going to be just a little bit off. And that will completely screw up your building, because after then, it's now a lot harder to start building when you're not snapped to the same grid. So if I can stress anything enough, just always make sure you're building with a grid that isn't at least perpendicular or is some sort of uniformity to the highway. So before that, I just want to let you know, and now let's get into actually building these interchanges. So building these interchanges, what you're going to want to do is have your main street, and this is why it actually friggin' makes sense now, is that have your main street always have your main street be the one that intersects the highway. Have the main street be the one that you want to build your highway to, or have your highway want to get off and on. So come down here. Now it's in line and it's on the same grid that the highway is. I can simply just change the street here to the main street that I have. And now it lines up perfectly. You'll want to first build this to where it's going to go under the bridge. Now you want to continue this out a little bit here. And then delete these two in the middle. You can change this to whatever you would like. And I suggest doing this after you've kind of started your city off, before you like run in here and do this and then run out of money and then all of a sudden you don't have a highway connection. Always do this before the city starts. And I suggest doing dirt roads. They're the cheapest of all cells. 40, actually that's not what it is. 60, 50, 40, 40, yeah. So dirt road are 20, and they're the cheapest of all cells. Just make sure where you're coming under the bridge is perpendicular to the bridge. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm making nodes. And what nodes are is basically points of where you can start editing the road, where segments change. So I deleted those 2 segments, and now I'm at the segment where the bridge is, and I want to come 4 back. So that would be 2. Now I'm at the next node here, and I'm coming 4 back. And actually, I'm going to change that. I'm going to come 6 back. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8. Destroy there. Delete 6. 2, 4, 6, 8. There. Delete that. Down to 6. Delete that. You won't need those for now. Make these dirt roads into whatever avenue you had. It really doesn't matter at that point, just whatever you're going to be using. I'm using bus lanes for whatever reason. And now that you have that, connect up your highways back to each other. And now, here's the important part. Without doing this, you need to go to the direct middle of the streets where the pillar would be there, build it, and then build across. Do not build it across immediately. If you were to do that, it might flunk out, and for example, if I were to build across immediately, it might put a pillar here, here, here. I've had it do it a bunch of times. It's just build to where you want your pillar to be. For our case, it'll be in the middle of our 2 streets. From here, simply take another gravel road. I did not know gravel roads did that. Huh. That's cool. Simply take a gravel road. Sorry about that. Simply take a gravel road and build one right along the side. Now, we're not going to be using this one. Instead, switch over to your 2-lane road and have it 1 cell from the end of there. So where I'm building it here. Build it across. 1 cell again. Delete this road. And if you have mass transit, you're going to have these guidelines. I think, I'm not sure if they added it to the vanilla game. However, I bought mass transit as soon as it came out. With these guidelines, it makes this a whole lot easier. Without the guidelines, you can still do it. It's not that big of a deal. Now, from here, what I would do is do the same thing we did for the other side. Take the dirt road, build it about 4 away, build it across. From there, take what looks like the same kind of area that you had with that. 1 cell away. And honestly, I'm going to turn off snapping. I'm going to turn off the road guidelines just so people who don't have them aren't... son of a... Okay, I'm putting them back on because I just fucked up. I'm sorry about that. But, I'm going to turn them off just so people without road guidelines are aware how to do it too. Build across, and what you should have is 4 cells in the middle, and that's because that's the width of the avenue that you're going to be building. From here, all you need to do is then take your 1-way road, come up to where it starts, build it right on over, curve it all the way over. Again, link it all up. And what you should see is that it should be symmetrical on either side with the cells. For example, there are 9 cells in total over here, 9 cells in total over here. With that, the main reason why I extended it from when I showed you guys from the preview is these nodes right here, and even if you don't have road guidelines, you'll still have those nodes. Places where it'll suggest you snap are now a little bit further out. And what that helps is basically we've done. We're all set with the how to make the interchange. And from here, it's really if you want to if you want to show it if you want it to look nice, basically, just take it from the cell, and from here, even that is a little bit, even that's a little bit debatable on how well that looks, but take it from the cell, take it all the way back, and link it up, and there you are. You have yourself a first interchange. And I honestly don't have any name for it. And for you, the construction may be a little bit different. It depends on the elevation, depends on the height differences. For me, it's not going to build. For me, I can't build past that, but I can build right there, and there you are. And really, it's due to the height differences here. That's what I was a bit worried about, but turns out it's going to do it. Oh, I can snap it up there. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. And again, just make sure you're changing the direction here. Slope too steep for changing the direction. I'm sure I'm changing. Yeah, well, that's the freaking. Obviously, it'll probably be a little bit different for you than it is for me. It's a little bit junky right now, but again, you'd be able to change the road direction on that. And if you were to come down here, you can see that there are absolutely no traffic lights. And that's the best thing about this intersection, is that traffic does not need to stop. Doesn't. If you ever watch Real Town Planner Plays, he'll tell you that this type of crap is just absolutely ridiculous and you shouldn't do it. And that's right, because highway connections shouldn't be connected to your main road. People shouldn't need to go onto your main road to get in your city. Highways should be off to the side or out somewhere where it's not as developed, because then it's generally easier for traffic to get around because it's not as busy there. Again, with this, this is really like one of the starting ones. I would never have a highway connection like that. In a big city, I would use my magic highway connections, and those ones basically aren't in a busy area. However, that would be the first one. So that's my first one I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the second one. The Dogbone interchange is incredibly easy to make, and it puts me to sleep every time I make it. So I'm going to continue from the point I had here. And just like always, you want to use the same grid that your highway is on. So I'm going to go 4 units out with this. Take it over. And see, this is the problem. This is why I don't like using. This is why I don't like the base game of CitiesSkylines, because adding highways in this game is atrocious. Is atrocious without the guidelines. As soon as I saw that I could have the guidelines with the highways, I yelped. I was so happy. Okay, so again, you're going to have your main road here, and what we're first going to do is we're going to just take the main road through an area which there is no pillars. So take the main road, and this is basically simulating that you've built the highway over whatever main road you want. So there it is. Main road is over the highway, or highways over the main road. Now what you want to do is you want to make express lanes for your highway, and express lanes are iffy at best on how they operate. They're good in some cases, bad in some other cases. So first thing you want to do is extend your express lane 3, basically following the shape of the highway. After that, delete both express lanes. Then from here, you would make a connection from that express lane to the highway. And it doesn't matter how the connection looks. It doesn't matter if the connection's good or bad. Really, to me, all that matters is that the connection is there. Now, obviously, I just realized that I'm doing this incredibly wrong, because it's not as long as I wanted to. So I'm going to extend it out 1 more unit. Delete that. Delete that. I'm gonna keep that street there. Extend the express lane. You want the express lane to be 2 units. 2 units straight. And then the total of it should be about 3 units. A little bit over 3 units. I know we made it 3 units at the start. However, you did change it because you had to delete those 2 segments. So now we have a 2 unit express lane there. And now what you'll want to do is delete both express lanes. I know there's a lot of deleting here. Delete both express lanes. Delete both middle portions. So that the express lane and highway are parallel to each other. All parallel to each other. That means you deleted all straight sections, and that the straight sections are easy, so, you know, just bop, bop, they're in. From there, you want to take your main road, and sorry that I told you to put the main road down first. Take your main road and put it to wherever you think the middle's going to be. To me, I just winged that, and I put it in the middle. Once you find where that middle point is, delete the lane just so you have the express lane on each side of it. The express lane would technically run right over the end of this. From there, you want to extend it another 5 units, and how you tell if it's 5 units or not is when you put the road out. As soon as you see that line, you see where the 400, 480 is, the 400 is. As soon as that line pops up, that means you're at 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So from there, you can also memorize it by the cost of the road. But from there, build it out, and then you would make your roundabouts. So for me, I like doing my roundabouts. I'll do a 5. Why not? I don't usually do 5, but I'll do 5 this time. No, I don't. God damn it. From there, we have a 5 unit roundabout. Same thing on this side. And you can see that I'm kind of using the area of effect indicator, that big blue circle. I can kind of use that to my advantage to how long 5 units is, because the area of effect circle is 4 units, has a radius of 4 units. So after all that, you would just take your express lane, and you can connect the highway up just like you would. Take the express lane, and I'm going to turn the snapping grid lines off. And I'm just going to build across. Oh, crap. Build across just like that. Be careful though, the roads that come off your express lanes, since they are turning, the game can't register that it's going completely straight. And if I were to delete these, delete this, and go completely off of, oh, that looks kind of straight, you can see that it's now going off to the side where it's now missing a good 10, 20 feet. Just be careful about that, because you'll need to start it from the grid lines from your main road and go over just like this. And now that that is all set, I'm going to connect the highway up just for sake of consistency here. And again, where you want your pillars, I wanted them to be as close to the road as I could. I screwed this highway up. And then just change all the roads. Change all the roads to be the correct way. I'm in a right driving country, so, you know. Okay, and just like that, and then you're saying, well, wait a minute, you don't have any connections. Well, that's it. since we deleted this middle section here, and we made it so this one was by itself before we linked it back up, there's a node here. Nodes generally are at the end of curves, but however, sometimes, you know, they can be like that where it's freeform. There is a node here. Bring it down, and try to bring it down to as close to the middle as you can. That'll give you the smoothest edge, and I like coming from here because for whatever reason that happened. That generally doesn't happen. Okay. I'm going to go as far up to the middle as you can, and it is deforming the street. Now that is something I would not be able to explain to you. Huh. I have never seen that happen before. I didn't do it on my last one, so maybe it's the height difference? I don't think so. I would not be able to explain to you why that is happening. However, generally most times I won't. So, that is your dog bone interchange, and then from here you would have your snapping grid line. That snaps right there, continues your main street just at a 9-degree angle that your other one is. Snapping angle is right there. So the snapping angle stayed, which is interesting to me since the other ones didn't. Generally, if you make, I guess, if you make the interchange big enough, or the roundabouts big enough, there will be a snapping angle there. However, since I made them incredibly small on my end, they did not stay there. However, the snapping angles for the tops did. Okay, so that is the dog bone. I call it the heavy dog bone interchange since it's more suited for industrial traffic. And now we get into the best interchange, and this one's hard. You know, this one definitely, and it costs over $100,000 to do at the start. So don't believe you can do this right off the bat when you start the game, because it is hard. So what you want to do is you want to have your main street wherever your strip is, whatever you want your Sims to connect to, or not Sims, citizens to connect to. And from here, you start off by making yourself a 3-unit long, basically avenue, but it's not going to be an avenue. So you'll start off by going 200 with a one-way road out to the right, 200 up, same thing on the other side, 200 to the left, 200 up. Connect it from your avenue you have here, then continue it straight for 2 whole units. See, I'm at the second line there. I'm at the second line here. From here, you would take 200 up, 200 in, 200 out. There's that. Grab a large road. Build it from exactly where your other one is, continuing straight. From here, bet you can't guess it. Destroy this, destroy this, destroy this, destroy this. And you would make your 45 ooh. Hold on. You would make your 45-degree angle. Now this, 150, 150, that's how you know that you have built it right when you have to destroy 150. Destroying things, to my knowledge, gives you 3/4 of what it was worth since we both built. I'm not going to turn on the radio and get demonetized. Since we built 200 there, 3/4 of that is 150. Total cost 400, and we got back 300. That's how you know. So now, from here, we've made ourselves a little, basically expanded avenue. And you know you can do it, you've been doing it right, at least this part, is that there are 8 units that are completely conjoined. If I were to take a zone, if I click, and I'm all the way on the left edge here, it zones the whole thing in. That means it's connected. That means it's in proportion to each other. So from that, we then go to our menu down here, and this is where it gets hard and expensive. So let's dig in. Try to find the middle here. Finding the exact middle it is hard, but it would be advised. For me, the exact middle is easy to find because with this large circle of influence I have here, I can see that it's 3 units left, right, and it is 7 units to the left, 7 units to the right. Go down 1, and I am using the elevation step of full, so this will work with vanilla too. Go down 1, go out 1 unit, 1.5 units that way, go out 1.5 units this way, go up as many units as you can, and I understand that there are a little bit of difficulties with this because you are now not building a full circle. That is the point. Building a full circle here, is going to be extremely difficult. It's pretty hard to. Why am I seeing? $31.20. 1640. Oh, you know what it is? It's because yeah, it's a 45-degree angle. I completely forgot to account for that. The 45-degree angle, what I meant is that it's a 45-degree angle, and it conjoins this as a half square while it conjoined this as a full square, and I shouldn't have been taking the middle here. I don't know if anyone had saw that, but I definitely did. Well, now this makes it a little bit more difficult. I suppose what I can do is build it all the way across here, 170, and I can see that it is 2.4 units. Come back to where it looks like the middle is here. Go up 2.5 units. Why exactly it's doing that, I would not know. And there we go. Okay. So this is what you should end up with. It looks like a... it's going to be an elliptical. And from here, you will conjoin all the ends of the lines here with a one-way road going to the right where your drivers would drive. If you live in America and Britain, obviously it would be different for you guys, but I have no idea how you do it. And come back over here. So now the elliptical's finished. Delete the middle lines here. You don't need those for guides anymore. And you are left with now a big ring. So from here, immediately upgrade those to highways, full highways. You do not want to forget about upgrading those to full highways, because if you do, you will end up with traffic signals at the bottom there, and the traffic will go much slower. Doing a 6-lane road will create traffic signals. It sucks, I know, but it will happen. After this, you're basically all set. After this, you just have the highway going under it, and if you even wanted to create it now, you could. Just make sure it is going underneath it. I generally will create a custom highway that runs parallel with the road when I start making these in my higher density areas, just because it's simpler to manage. Easier to manage, yeah. Come back up, and I messed that up. Dexter Tunnel, nice. And then you can join these parts. And there we are. So now we have all the underneath parts set. Basically, that's the main infrastructure. And now we need to make sure that this thing works. And by the way, it is possible. I did do it on my last, on that city I showed you before my game crashed that yes, it is possible to make this a three-way, and even four-way. I haven't even tried to make it a four-way, but yes, you can make it a four-way. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm just showing you. But after this, take this from this corner, go up until you reach, well, actually, no, just go from the middle and go like that and like that. Same here, go up from the middle, down like that, and like that. What you should end up with, if you did it right, is it will always be this square of spaces here, and this arrow of spaces here. Square of spaces here, arrow of spaces. That's what you want. Next is that you want, since people are going to be getting off here, some people might need to turn around. This is exactly what this place is for. You can turn around here. Kind of like a mini roundabout in the middle of an avenue. Awesome on me, because if people, especially AI, you don't want interchanges near your highways. You don't want interchanges anywhere near your highways or intersections. I meant interchanges near highways, that's going to obviously happen. Intersections near highways are killer, absolutely killer. Got a little sip of something there. Intersections near highways are absolutely killer. You never, ever, ever want to have one near a highway. It'll kill traffic and it automatically stops anything. So what you want is that people generally be driving down this road for an extremely long amount of time. And by extremely long, I mean they've probably bypassed a good portion of your city just driving on this road. And if anyone needs to turn around, for example, cargo trucks need to turn around and stop at another place on the other side of the road, they won't have anywhere to do that until they turn into a residential neighborhood. That's why having these things, the magic stops I call them, in the middle of cities, is extremely good. Because it gives cargo trucks and everything like that a place to turn around. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the on-ramps. So from the top here, the node at the top, go straight line over to as close as you can get to the other intersection. It'll start snapping right here. You can get to that bush, but for me, I always like doing the 330, coming up to where it is here, dropping it down 1, and looking at it at an angle will allow you not to snap it. Next, you will then take it from this intersection and curve into the road. Simple, simple, simple. Come back up, straight line to where it is about here, and like I said, it's gonna like that. Look up, boom, and curve it into the road. Just like that. Now you see how well those curved? It's because the curve is recommended by the game, and usually that is the most optimal curve. I've also seen it where it's just, you know, tries to curve it like that, when you're really only supposed to curve it like that. It does weird things sometimes, but generally when it recommends to you a curve, do it. Next, what you'll want to do is from where you dropped your highway down, and for us it was here, take it from here and go 2 over, drop it up, and try to connect it to the road. And now, I said try because sometimes it'll connect here, sometimes it'll connect here, just depending on how steep your loop is. Try to connect it as far away as that main line as you can. So for me, it's right there. Boom. From here, simply connect it from where this other connection was. And there is a little bit of hesitation with that because it will do this weird jink here. However, I've never seen it really detriment anything. In fact, if only, you know, you can't see it. Yeah, out of sight, out of mind. You can't see it, and I've never seen any traffic, or when I go like this and you can see the little cars, I've never seen them get stuck on that. Really, the biggest thing is that you're coming into here, and if you wanted to get off this highway and you're coming off of this highway, the traffic won't really matter that much at that point. So it will look weird, and I do have hesitation doing it. However, I've never really had it kind of affect me. Next thing is, do it just for the same other side. And like I said, take where we wanted it to go. Go one lane over, pull it down, and bring it up. And you can see there it snaps to this intersection. It also snaps one before it. And it's just how the game will go. Take it up there. And then straight slope. Boom! Just like that, your cars now have a way to get onto the highway and off of the highway. They can't get onto the highway yet. Don't forget that just down here, I mean, I don't have any rhyme or reason to how I do it. I just, whatever it goes to, woo! And then just like that, bring it all the way back. Optimally, if it doesn't do that, sometimes it will, and honestly, at that point, just yeet it. But other than that, now you have your way to get on and off of a highway underneath the ground, and it's at almost no space. You can see this one, incredibly convoluted interchange, incredibly simple interchange that took up that much space as comparatively to the not even 2 units that took to, yeah, maybe going from here, that's 1, yeah, not even 2 units that took to do that, now takes over 4 units to do this one. So it's a little bit better, but not much. Yeah. Oh no, because you need to account for. Yeah, no, that's about 1.5 units. So this one, the best high yield. Never had a problem with it, and it doesn't block any traffic going through. It's simply one of the best. So, I hope I helped you. I hope that you've learned something today. And leave a comment down below, leave a like. You know, I'm not going to ask you to subscribe because I really only have no subscribers. So it doesn't matter to me if you subscribe, but at least if you're going to take anything out of this video, please remember that everything needs to be proportionate to each other. I've just built all these highways on the same grid. I could connect them all, and that's because they're built in proportion. And just never have an intersection near a highway. Just never do that. But thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you if I ever decide to post anything again. Maybe I'll post this. Yeah. All right. You boys have a good day.